ever notice, the delay effect can have a dramatic influence on our playing style. Our music can take on different flavors depending on the type of delay we are using. On the other hand, the market offers plenty of choice, and picking the right product can be challenging, if not frustrating. The NUX catalog alone includes a handful of different options. We are just about to explore the 4 main NUX delay models: Atlantic Delay-Reverb, Duotime Dual Delay, Tape Echo, all from the Verdugo Series, and the analog delay pedal from the Reissue series. Let's bring a bit of order for a better understanding of their catalog. Furthermore, whether you are a professional or a beginner, this is a great chance to share some thoughts of general interest on echo and delay in live music and production. What delay effect fits your style best? Let's find out together. If you are serious about your guitar tone and love guitar history and culture, you are in the right place. Subscribe to Bob's Tone Review, the channel with the cherry sunburst frame, always delivering original content with accurate information based on documented sources and direct experience. First off, a big question arises. Do we really need a delay effect pedal in our signal chain? Just a few minutes to make things clear. In auditoriums made for theater performances, presentations and lectures, clarity and intelligibility of speech are the absolute priority. Therefore, these types of venues are designed for dry room acoustics. Conversely, most medieval and Renaissance churches were designed for long reverberation times. They feature huge airspace, high-vaulted ceilings, large domes, and sound-reflecting surfaces such as hard stone walls and stained glass windows. A typical example is the baptistry of San Giovanni in Pisa, which is a natural echo chamber. Under its dome, notes resonate for as long as 12 seconds before the sound completely fades out. This allows harmonic vocal layering. New notes harmonize with those still reverberating. This type of room acoustics was meant to create a suggestive ambience or atmosphere for the liturgical chants of the time. The architecture of those buildings was designed to shape sound and reverberation, allowing sustained vocal lines and choral blending. On the other hand, this ended up compromising on the speech clarity, to the point that sometimes they were forced to slow down their speech unnaturally. A more agitated tone and pacing would cause words to get lost into an indistinct halo. However, the same acoustic environment that seemed inappropriate for readings and sermons became an aesthetic choice during the musical parts of the celebration. Similarly, producers and musicians over the years have found inspiration in the echoey room acoustics of locations such as stairwells and tunnels, which were not originally meant for music. All this is to say that the more room or space effect we introduce in our music, the more we are compromising on clarity, detail, sonic definition, frequency separation, and balance. So what do we get in return? In contemporary music, something fundamental has changed. Echo is no longer tied to a physical space. Since early electromechanical echo units were introduced, echo has become portable, adjustable, and reproducible. Musicians could finally control space effects like an instrument, instead of being subject to them. As a result, when today we use delay effects in our music, we are most likely no longer trying to mimic particular room acoustics. Rather, we are making an aesthetic choice to create a mood or atmosphere, or to shape the identity and style of our music. When we use delay effects, we are adding vibe, that is, feel, mood and personality, to boost the emotional impact of our live performance or recording. At this point, you might want to explore both sides of the coin and everything in between, meaning that you want to find the balance of dry to wet ambience effects that fits your needs. This is fundamental to choose our ideal type of delay. Of course, there are infinite types of delay, but to simplify things, I'd group them into three main categories. The first type is short slapback echo. Typical of 1950s rockabilly and sound studio productions, this effect is characterized by a couple of distinct and up-close repeats occurring with a short delay time of milliseconds. This adds thickness and depth to the sound, while keeping rhythmic clarity. The second type is a more emphasized echo, with longer delay times and more repeats, to create a more dynamic and dramatic feel, which is great for soloing, think of Gilmour or The Edge. Finally, we have the baptistry delay type, an immersive echo that blurs edges with multiple repeats to create suggestive sonic textures or layers, which is great for ambient music, soundtracks, and liturgical chants. The NUX catalog covers this entire range of delay types. For transparency, I have to make clear that this video is not paid or sponsored by NUX, but of course they were happy to send me the pedals for testing and review. Regardless, I think it's fair to say that the general consensus on NUX products is that they provide convenient value for the money. They feature solid construction and deliver usable sounds, which are really helpful, especially for live use, providing quality that often rivals way more expensive brands. If you want to keep yourself open to different possibilities, then you need a flexible all-purpose delay. Well, the Atlantic meets and exceeds these requirements, being extremely versatile. From the Verdugo series, the NUX Atlantic and the R5 pedal covers several classic delay and reverb types. You get the emulation of decades of historic sounds, spring reverb, plate reverb, and hall reverb, which you can add on top of 60s tape echo, 70s bucket brigade analog delay, or 80s digital delay. The 60s mode is probably my favorite, even though all modes sound good. Holding the reverb foot switch pressed, you get a beautiful harmonic shimmer effect, ideal for dreamy textures, especially in plate reverb mode. You can wire the Atlantic either in stereo or mono in a traditional effects chain or to the send return of your amplifier. Interestingly, when you set the toggle switch on the back to serial, you can choose the order in which delay and reverb are added to your signal chain. For instance, to have the delay first, which is my preference, just unplug the power supply and hold the delay foot switch down while you plug the power cable back in. To experiment with the reverse routing, simply repeat the same procedure with the reverb foot switch pressed. Conversely, if you already have clear ideas about what you wish, the NUX Tape Echo NDD7 is a very specific delay type. This delay, also from the Verdugo series, is an emulator of a space echo, the legendary tape echo machines designed and built in Japan by Roland Corporation in the mid-1970s. The NDD7 tape echo is built to recreate the analog warmth and even the quirks of old tape machines. On an original electromechanical device, each repeated note progressively decays and degrades, creating a very expressive sense of depth. Each repeat is weaker, duller, more distant, like a memory slowly fading through time. This is one of the reasons that made tape echo machines emotionally powerful, as opposed to more clean but sterile-sounding delays. Some versions of the original Japanese units, such as the classic RE201, included a spring reverb tank. Therefore, the NUX Delay also offers spring reverb emulation. The core of the Tape Echo NDD7 is composed by 3 virtual heads, to mimic the magnetic tape heads of the old Roland Echo machines. To achieve multiple delay patterns, the select knob allows for 8 different head combinations. They are represented on the LCD screen either in milliseconds or BPM. The select knob also allows to access the internal menu to customize the magnetic tape emulation's parameters, such as saturation, wow and flutter. I found the default settings a bit excessive. For more natural sounding delay, at least more similar to the original vintage Roland units I've tried, I would recommend to customize the menu settings. As a quick rule of thumb, while the default settings are set at 50%, my recommendation is to drop down to around 33%. With the menu, you can also activate the kill dry function to remove the dry signal from the pedal's output and leave only the affected wet signal. This is especially useful to use the NDD7 as an outboard effect with a mixing desk or to prevent phase issues in a stereo setup. As on the original units, extreme settings of the repeat knob lead to infinite self-oscillation. You can also engage feedback by holding down the on foot switch for a few seconds. In addition to vintage sound emulation, the NUX Tape Echo also includes a bunch of contemporary features, such as tap tempo and MIDI presets. TRS MIDI patch cables are included. Also, you can use an expression pedal to control an assigned parameter to choose from time, repeat, or level. Pressing the on and tap foot switches simultaneously, you enter the sound on sound mode, which enables a basic looper. If the NUX Step Echo is a compact tool specific for retro echo sounds, the NUX Duotime NDD6 is open to both vintage-oriented and modern delay types. It's presented as an all-rounder delay for every occasion, although I find it best suited for music environments with more prominent echo and contemporary sounds. As its name suggests, it has two engines under the hood, each with an independent set of time and repeat controls. These two engines can be run simultaneously in stereo. You can either run the two delays with two independent input signals or in series by linking them with a patch cable. A rotary switch lets you choose from 5 types of effect: analog and tape echo emulations, plus digital, modulation and verb delays. An OLED display shows the pedal status, especially enjoyable if you have good eyes. Of course, there's also a tap tempo. Like on the NDD7, by pressing the two switches simultaneously, you get a basic looper with 40 seconds looping capability. Tape echo mode has the same algorithm as the NUX Tape Echo NDD7. Of course, the NDD7 is specifically designed for vintage echo sounds and allows more control. The parameter knob changes function depending on the selected delay type. In tape echo mode, it introduces saturation to mimic the effect of worn analog tape. With both analog and tape echo modes, with level and repeat at maximum and the time knob set to 0, you get self-oscillation or infinite feedback. The digital setting reaches 1 second of delay time. It draws inspiration from the glorious stereo delay rack mount units made by Lexicon, TC Electronics and Eventide, which were the big hype in the 1980s. Contrary to what you might think, the digital delay mode is quite warm and musical sounding. The mod delay gives the widest range of delay time, reaching 1 second and a half. It's based on the Ibanez modulation delay second pedal from the glorious 10 series of the late 1980s. Use the parameter control to set the depth of modulation effect. It's a very specific effect that might result a bit too intrusive in certain contexts. Finally, the verb mode is probably my favorite option on this pedal. It mixes digital delay to plate reverb. In addition, with the parameter control, you can add to the mix a beautiful shimmer effect, creating a suggestive organ-like droning note. It reminds me certain psychedelic drifts by Spaceman 3 or Blake Angels. For an authentic, organic feel, the NUX catalogue offers the analog delay pedal from the Reissue series. This little stump box is not strictly a reissue, but is clearly inspired by the analog BBD delays of the 1980s, sporting the iconic pink-purple hues typical of gorgeous vintage pedals, such as the Boss DM2, DM3, Ibanez AD9 and the AD80, whose aesthetics this pedal particularly recalls. This NUX pedal features 100% analog circuit with the reproduction of the legendary Panasonic chips. This type of pedals is characterized by lush echo repeats with tons of vibe. Their relatively short delay times make them especially suited for slapback echo. The NUX reissue ranges from 20 to 300 milliseconds. Obviously, it is less versatile than its vintage predecessors, but it still sounds awesome, so much so that I dare you to find an analog delay pedal with better value for the money. Bottom line, these NUX delays cover a wide range of applications. Hopefully, testing them side by side can help to guide your choice to the one that fits best your needs. You can choose the Atlantic to keep open to different types of delay and reverb options. The Duotime is ideal to experiment with more modern and prominent stereo effects without giving up to more traditional delay types. If you prefer to focus on tape echo emulation, the Tape Echo NDD7 is the right choice for you. If you aim to true analog warmth for great slapback echo, then go for the inexpensive analog delay reissue pedal. In any case, all these delays will serve great for home recording, practice, and small to medium gigging scenarios. They are all recommended to get pleasing sound quality and functionality without breaking your bank account. Speaking of which, remember that you can buy the NUX delays or any piece of gear you wish using Methoman affiliate link in the description or superimposed on screen. You will support Bob Stone Review at no additional cost. Two legends of music production, very different from each other, essentially summarize their experience in the same way. Brian Eno reminds that the studio is a playground where anything can happen. Quincy Jones said, "In music production, the possibilities are endless. You just have to be willing to explore." Delay effects of any type are a basic ingredient for this exploration. Please let me know your thoughts and feedbacks in the comments below. Subscribe now and click the bell to keep posted. join the Facebook group Bobstone Review, and follow my Instagram profile.